Joining us now on Newsnight is the party's leader, Julius Malema. Mr. Malema, good evening to you, and thank you very much for joining us. Many people tonight are saying that this is a political masterstroke as far as your party is concerned. Was this a difficult decision to reach not to go into coalition, given that all political parties ultimately want to get their hands on the lever of power?
Well, it was not that difficult because we knew very well that we can't go into a coalition with the ANC. And we knew very well that it was going to be difficult to go into a coalition with the DA because there is a serious fundamental differences on ideological issues. And it was difficult when we were speaking to the Gauteng leadership of the ANC because that's the most credible leadership. They have not done anything wrong. But they have since said they are taking a collective responsibility for the mess that happened in this country, and therefore they shall be punished collectively. But if we're dealing with Gauteng alone, without any interference, if they were a federal type of an organization, it was going to be easy to go into a coalition with the ANC in Gauteng. But the problem is that national leadership, which is in control of everything.
Within your own party, how much debate was there around this particular issue? Was it fairly universal in reaching a decision?
Well, we had the first meeting and we did a secret vote, and then majority said we must abstain, and then 9 said DA, and then 7 said the ANC. And then we had a second meeting where this final decision was taken that if we abstain, we'll look like we are undecisive and we don't know what we stand for. And therefore, we thought we needed to take a stand. And if we abstain, we'll also be helping the ANC to come back through a back door. And that is, against the wish of the people, because our people, to remove a sitting government shouldn't be easy. If they do that, it means this government has done something terribly wrong. And therefore, you can't, even when the people say, we're so offended, and do not help them to remove this government from power.
Can you amplify then the role that you see your party playing, particularly in Tshwane and in the Johannesburg metro? And where might you disagree with the Democratic Alliance on, and at what point, what mechanism kicks into place?
Well, we are an opposition party. There is a coalition of the DA and other parties. We are opposed to them, and we want them to deliver services to our people. We are going to debate and spend most of the time on service delivery issues. We're going to want houses for our people, water, electricity. We want the indigent not to pay for electricity and water, all those type of issues. It's not going to be necessarily about a disruptive type of a relationship. It's going to be fighting over what goes into a budget, and not necessarily numbers. We are tired of hearing 500 million for houses.
You made the point about the houses in Orange Farm.
Yes, we want to hear we're building 100 houses in Orange Farm. We're building so many crèches in these areas. We're building so many clinics. Let the budget reflect the real bread and butter issues which affect our people.
There is a school of thought which said you might have been able to exert more influence had you assumed some type of office. You would disagree with that?
No. We are a small party. If you go into a coalition with such big parties, you run a risk of even disappearing and then becoming irrelevant. Because imagine all of us, if we go into a coalition, we're leaving the ANC to be the voice of reason against all of us. And therefore, the ANC becomes an alternative to this coalition. So we cannot leave that. The rest can go into government. We will remain outside. We are in a coalition with our people. We'll speak on behalf of our people and put pressure on this coalition to deliver what has been promised during elections.
At your briefing today in Alex, you had praise for the Tshwane DA mayoral candidate, Salim Smang, but not so much for Herman Machado. Is he a problem for you?
He's an extremely, that guy is a problem. I think he's got no idea what we're dealing with. He thinks being a mayor is like buying shares in a company and becoming a chairman of some CC which had collapsed, and you threaten to revive it. He's got disrespect for black people. He's got disrespect for poor people. I mean, he did some interviews where he said You can't give money to poor person and all that. And when you speak poor people, you mean black people, because the poor in this country are black people. So his anti-blackness, it's a huge problem for us, and wanting to be more white than white people themselves. Some of them can't even relate with him. I mean, in one of the interviews, they said, as a black person, said, no, don't call me a black person. Just call me a human being. You are black, man, whether you like it or not. So you can't have such a person who even refuses his identity. And now he says if the DA asks him to leave, he will go back and do things in his capitalist way.
So you would not be offering any support to Herman Machado in terms of his vote in as a mayoral candidate?
We're debating that with the DA, and the DA says they've contested elections under Herman Machado. They can't drop him now, but they didn't win the elections. It's not like we're asking them to do something unfair because they won elections under Herman Machado. Where there's talks of power sharing, including getting support from others, you must be prepared to compromise. So DA is just doing exactly what the ANC is doing. They are prepared to lose a metro because of an individual. The ANC was prepared to lose metros because of individual called Jacob Zuma. And those who have an ear of DA, they must warn them that they must not lose a metro because of individual. But also it goes to the racist attitude of DA. Trollip is in PE because of this coalition. They don't need the EFF there. And once Trollip is in, they don't care what happens. Even if we pull out our support in Tshwane and Soli doesn't win and Herman doesn't win, they don't care. A white man is in PE. That's the attitude.
So Herman Machado in Johannesburg is a deal breaker as far as the EFF is concerned, and your promise of support to lend your votes.
It's not a deal breaker. We are just saying to the DA, be reasonable. Here are the people who are offering votes. Here are the people coming into partnership with you, and they are only asking for one thing. And we are not even saying the mayor must come from the EFF. We are saying the mayor must come from the DA. And if they want to be unreasonable, so be it, we'll go on with them, because we have no option. We are caught in between the two devils, and we have to choose a better devil. And in this case, the DA happens to be a better devil.
But if Herman Machado is the mayor, it is going to make that relationship a little more tense.
It's going to be a bad relationship. It means we would have started on a wrong footing. And for the sake of the people of Johannesburg, the DA should be saying, we hear you, and compromise. We never asked for that in PE. We never asked for any compromise anywhere. We never asked for anything from DA. We don't want any position. But the DA is so arrogant. I mean, Musi today speaks like he has won a country. He didn't win even Johannesburg, but wants to speak like he has won. We're offering him a support. Arrogance. Musi must learn from the ANC. Arrogance doesn't work.
What then has the DA said to you about the Machado issue in Johannesburg?
No, they said...
Are they still...
No, they never spoke to us. I said it was a secret issue and all that, but Musi went to speak about it publicly, even without coming back to us. Well and good. You see, the good thing with us voting for the DA, we know the type of an animal we're dealing with. And they must be ready for a serious, robust engagement in those municipalities.
Let's talk about
This is not the end, it's just the beginning. They must know they are in for something different.
I certainly sense that is the case, Julius Malema. Take us into the talks, if you will. You alluded to the discussions involving the Gauteng ANC. But how difficult were those talks with the ruling party?
When you talk to Paul Mashatile, Makura, Hope Papo, you see that you talk to people who love their organization, who are passionate, who are trying everything in their power to try and break a deal. And then there comes the national leadership, which is looks tired and not less interested and all that, because they are not personally affected. And one of the reasons why we're voting for DA, we want the ANC individuals to be personally affected. Then they will take a stand. The entire NEC of the ANC is not going to lose any position, any blue light, any salary, any house. That's why they are saying they are taking a collective decision. But those who stand to lose those benefits, they will know that now they are personally affected and they have to take a stand. Because the Gauteng leadership genuinely wanted to break a deal. But the national leadership, so reluctant, they don't even give you reasons why Zuma can't go. You give reasons why Zuma must go. They will never come back and
so those talks were almost doomed to fail from the start.
From the beginning, they just tell you, you are asking us the most difficult thing when you say Zuma must go is the most difficult thing. We say to them, but this man has undermined the constitution of the Republic of South Africa. The people have voted against corruption. How do we bring back corruption through a back door?
What did the ANC offer you in those talks?
Well, they did mention in one of the meetings at the end that we can take some of the municipalities and all that, and we quickly called him to order that we are not here to discuss positions. We don't want positions. We don't suffer from uncontrollable ambition for power. We want to serve our people. And even when we vote for you, ANC, we're going to be an opposition. We're not here to talk about who becomes what. So they didn't offer anything after that because they realized that we are not tempted to even want to discuss positions.
Do you think there was a sense of desperation
from
the ANC?
Well, not a sense of desperation. There was a sense of lack of imagination. They are just in it for it, but they are tired, Shem. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They left everything in God's hands. They are not in control.
You spoke at your briefing, Julius Malema, about the new politics in South Africa. Yeah. I think that was the phrase that you used. Is today the start?
Absolutely. This is a watershed moment. This is a turning point, and the EFF is at the center of that. This mighty ANC losing such big metros. There was a pleading, not from leadership, but from regional and provincial leaders of the ANC about Nelson Mandela. Even some ministers were saying the rest we can lose, not Nelson Mandela Bay. But you could see that they now are appreciating that this is a turning moment. I can tell you now, we're going to come back to this table in 2019 to discuss a similar arrangement because it's non-stop. It happened in 2014, they dropped. They said it was a joke. They threw parties and celebrated. It dropped again now. Sitlesi Kalala was popping champagne in Natal, saying under Zuma we're increasing the wards, but the reality suggests contrary because they are a party in denial. And the fact that they are in denial, in 2019, you must prepare yourself for a new president or a coalition government.
You spoke earlier this afternoon about people threatening the EFF, and you also said that they were resorting to, and I quote, ANC tendencies. Who was threatening you?
No, our members during campaign.
This wasn't during the talks. This was during the
No, not the talks. No one can threaten us in the talks. In the campaign, these drunkards of MK, MVA, they say they are MK. They never fought any battle anywhere. They threaten our young volunteers, beat them up. In Nkomazi, they shot one of our comrades. In Natal, they disrupted our meetings. Just recently, ANC people were making threats that if there is a coalition of EFF and DA, then Joburg will be ungovernable, Tshwane will be ungovernable, and we hope the police are monitoring those people. Any government brought in through democratic means should not be threatened by ANC hooligans. We must be ready to deal with them decisively.
Just as we come to the end of this, you are going to be playing a pivotal role in municipal politics going forward, but there is a sense sometimes that any minority government is doomed to fail. How long do you give these minority governments?
Well, we hope this will be different. The good thing with the DA is that there are people there like James Self, not Musi. Musi is not one of the thinking tanks. I don't think he appreciates what politics is. People like James Self who are prepared to talk, who are prepared to listen, and when we indicated that the real battle is going to be on budgets and all that, they were more than ready to say, look, those are the ideal fights. We must fight about service delivery issues and not about the things that are more ideological. And we hope that the DA will continue to listen and give us an opportunity to make inputs in the budgets and real issues that are going to deliver to our people. For instance, in Joburg, we don't want those things of bicycle lanes. There's no cycling culture here. We want real service delivery, particularly in the black communities, because they are excluded.
I thought you'd taken up cycling with all the weight that you'd lost. I've just been given a note. Times Media is reporting this afternoon, and the headline is, "I'm willing to walk away." Herman Machado saying that he's willing to go back to business if the party asks him to walk away from his position as leader of the caucus in the city of Johannesburg. How do you respond to that? I've just received that.
Well, it's for the DA. The call is for DA to make that call. I mean, the DA should not love individuals more than the people of Johannesburg. Norman Machado did not make Herman. Hey, I always call him Norman because he's so insignificant. Now, we have to make sure that the people are put first, not individuals. The love for Herman by Musima Imani is so scary. He says he doesn't choose friends. Here, there is a potential of a deal collapsing because of an individual. He's so readily available for the deal to break in defense of an individual. He's going the ANC direction.
Just finally, who advised you on the optics of today's event, where you held it in direct contrast to a five-star hotel where the whose idea was that?
You know, EFF is full of ideas because we've got the young intelligentsia. We are a collective leadership. There is no individual claim to anything. We have always made the politics exciting because we always think, we don't sleep, we always think, how do we continue to build this brand called the EFF? And I think we're succeeding. The reason why we're not even participating in these municipalities, we want to build it slowly from the ground. And even if it takes us 10 years, we're not in a hurry. We are not here because we are self-serving. We are here for a mission. We've got an imagination. And we want our people to appreciate that this EFF will grow to become one of the best organizations. Going into Alexander was to look at to remind ourselves of those conditions of our people, so that when we announce that decision, we don't even have a difficulty. We say, because of this suffering of our people, we're taking the decision we've taken.
Julius Malema, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, with us here on Newsnight.